is Nicolas Gomez. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the telecom market structure in Brazil. For this, I'm going to make a little country description, talk about conditions to run telecom business, state involvement, is there a big operator in Brazil, and mobile business. There are currently 8 operators in Brazil. 4 of them are responsible for more than 99% of the market. Here we can see which 4 are them: Vivo, TIM, Claro, and Oi. And we can see in general terms how all the operators are taking account in the market share. Talking about prepaid and postpaid services, we can see that are the same 4 operators, but they have different positions. And in these ones, we can say how all the prepaid and postpaid market works. In terms of the condition to run telecom business, telecom services can be provided under a public or private regime. Under the public regime, telecom services are only granted by Anatel through concession or permit in specific situations. Under the private regime, communication services are granted by authorization. A telecom service license can only be granted to a company organized and existing under Brazilian law. Its head office must be in Brazil and it must have the corporate purpose of providing telecom services. Anatel requires certain conditions. There are 3. Presentation of a technical project, evidence that the company has the capacity to contract with, and evidence that the company is properly qualified to provide the services. In private regime, the authorization to provide telecom services is subject to a payment of a fee of 9,000 Brazilian reals for most services, such as mobile services and fixed switched telephone services. For data services, such as multimedia communication services, the fee is 4,000 Brazilian reals. Now, on the state involvement, we have regulatory framework and regulatory authorities. The telecom sector is based on the General Telecommunications Law. It sets out that the executive branch of government is responsible for establishing telecoms policy. Anatel is in charge of implementing such policy by regulating and supervising the sector. Broadcasting services policy is developed by the Communications Ministry jointly with the National Congress. And in the other hand, the regulatory authorities telecommunication services are regulated and supervised by Anatel, which is responsible for implementing the national telecoms policy and for carrying on most administrative activities relating to telecom services providers. Broadcasting services are subject to control by the Ministry of Communications. Now, answering the question, is there a big operator in Brazil or a dominating one? As we saw before, there is a dominating one in prepaid services, there is a dominating one in postpaid services, and there is a dominating one taking everything in count. So, answering this question, we have to say that these 4, TIM, Vivo, Oi, and Claro, are definitely the ones that are running the mobile services in Brazil now. At last but not least, the mobile business. Is it standalone? And what about TV, fixed lines, and internet services? In Brazil, some companies do both mobile and fixed services, but in the same way, there are companies just dedicated to fixed services. However, the companies that do both doesn't have options for customers to acquire a complete package, if we can say so, with mobile line, TV, internet connection, and fixed line. The companies sell these items separately. In these 3 elements, we can see how the market works. In each one of these 3 services, and we can tell that some companies' names that were seen before in this presentation are also here, and some of them we haven't seen before. Thank you.